So, so today's our topic is Python. So first of all, why we need to use Python? So because we have lots of many programming languages over there, but the current technological world and current graduation students who are want to become developers, all are learning the Python only. So first of all, why we need to learn Python? So why this much of craze comes to Python? So why? Because Python is a very simple and understandable language. So in the sense of simple and understandable, so when you compare with Java or when you compare with C language, it is more simple because there is a less syntax, and this is also in a step by step way, and you can easily understand the logic by because of the less syntax and the less code. So next one is it is easy to write. So as of you know now, so whenever you are writing the code in some other programming languages, there is a chance of there is a chance of getting confused by the long syntaxes and bulk of packages over there. But whenever you come to Python, so it is very easy to write programming language. So why? Because people use it to know, people use it to love the programming language which can write in easy way. So we can easily write the programming language in Python, programs in Python. So major platform support. The next one is major platform support. What is major platform support? Suppose uh, if we have if we have the people, uh, suppose if I have the Windows machine, so if I write the Python program Windows machine, it can also run in Mac OS, it can also run in Linux OS. So in this way, in this way it supports the major platforms like Windows, like Mac OS, like Linux. All the platforms are supported by the Python. So the next one is huge library support. So the main reason to become Python more famous is it's have a huge library support. Whenever you comes to huge library support, because we have web development, we have machine learning, we have natural language processing, we have image processing. So all these things are can be maintained by the Python libraries. So, suppose if I have the machine learning, we have the libraries called OpenKeras, Terra. If I come to the image processing, we have the so library called OpenCV. So if I come to GUI programming, we have a library called Tkinter. So if I come to web development, we have a frameworks called Django and Flask. So these are the things which helps to grow Python more. So there is a much more bigger and all much more bigger problems also solved by the Python very simply. So the next one is multi-programming paradigm. So the Python supports the object-oriented programming and procedure-oriented programming also. So because for the sake of this, the Python is more familiar in the industry and in the current world. So this is the way why we need to use Python. These are the some standard examples. These are some standard reasons to learn Python. So the next one is where is Python used? So if I come to know that, we have to understand. So whenever we are learning the programming language, we must know where that programming language is used and what are the developments made by that programming language. So whenever come to the Python, so the Python is used in many ways. The Python is used in many industries also. So we can do automation, we can do web development, we can do machine learning, deep learning, data science, backend development, game development, and web scraping, image processing, UI development, bots designing, audio video applications, embedded applications, and testing. So these are the major platforms using the Python in the current era. So whenever you come to automation, there is a such libraries called PyWinAuto, so Automagica, Beautiful Soup, PyTest. So PyWinAuto makes you to PyWinAuto makes you to automate the some tasks of GUIs. So Automagica, Beautiful Soup also used for the request. So PyTest, PDF Miner is used to get the PDF to extract the text from the PDF files. PyBuilder is used to to build the to build the normal source code to the exe files, executable files, and PyJust is used to increase the Java one. So combined with Java testing. So the next web development is combined with Django is the best web framework in the current era. They are using the Django in any way. So they're developing web applications. They're developing huge major supports for the backend services using the Django. So Flask, Web2Py, uh, Bottle, Grok, Falcon, Pyramid, Tornado, Turbo. Whenever you understand these things, you may get the chance of confusing. So why are we mentioning these things in the introduction? So because whenever you are learning the Python programming language or any programming language, you have to learn the basics. So where we are using now. So why we are using much familiar. Yeah. Okay. So this is the way we are going to use the things in the machine learning. So why? Because the Python is such a biggest occupies the biggest role in the industry, means it's going to be using in the machine learning also. So lots of machine learning uh, tasks are doing by using Python, and at the same time the NumPy, TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, PyTorch, Keras, these these libraries are using mostly in the Python. So they are using like anyway these they are going to build the models. They are using to convert the take the data, and they are using to build the models for the machine learning and the data science. So in data science, really the people are very much interested to learn the data science. So whenever we talk about the data science, the first of all we are going to we comes in our mind is pandas. So whenever if you are familiar with Python, so whenever we talk about the Python with data science, the first library when it comes to our mind is pandas. So the pandas is used to create the data frames by collecting the data and analyzing the data for to plot the data. So whenever we come to data, so we have to plot the data. So to plot the data, we are using the matplotlib seaborn. So the data is not at all understandable if you have the bulk of data. We need to plot the data in the form of bar graphs or in the form of these pie charts in the form of plots. So we are going to use the seaborn and matplotlib to do the plots. So NumPy and ScRapy are also using to do the scientific calculations on the data and to arrange the data. So all these things are using the data science mostly. So whenever we come to game development, Python doesn't occupy such a biggest game development era, but we can also do game development Python. So we are currently we are using the Pygame, Pykera, and Pyglet to build the games. So next is UI development. In the UI development, Python occupies such a prominent role. So whenever you comes to UI development, most of the developers are using tkinter, PyQt, Kiwi, PyGUI, WXPython, and Flex. So these are the modules using the developers to develop the UI for the systems. Whenever we are using the particular library, so we have to understand where it was written and in which programming language the library was written. So the Flex is completely written in Python. The Flex is completely written in Python. The most familiar libraries to use for the GUI automation is Kiwi, tkinter, and PyQt. These three are mostly using by the developers to develop the UI. So when come to chatbots, really the chatbots are currently the trending topic, and most of the students and most of the developers concentrating on the chatbots, because in this automation world we have to automate the some kind of tasks, because the humans cannot or work for the 24 by 7. Whenever we hire the humans for 24 by 7 working, there may be a chance of the bigger uh, manpower, there may be a chance of the bigger resource utilization. So whenever you write the chatbot for the particular task, so you maybe have the automation, you can do the automation by using chatbots, and we can reduce the manpower, and we can do the such a more prominent services which cannot be deal by the humans. So the chatbots are major chatbots are designed by using the Python. So when it comes to chatbot, the Chatterbot is the one of the best library using for to do the chatbots. and telebot used to do the telegram bots, botogram as was used to do the telegram bots, and AAML, the one of my favorite libraries, AAML, because we can write the simple programming, simple chatbots, and we can design a simple chatbots by using AAML. So I'm going to conduct a session on AAML and the web integration chatbots. So in this one, the next one is TweePy. TweePy used to design a chatbot to automate our Twitter, and InstaPy used to automate the Instagram. So these are the chatbots. These are the chatbot libraries using in Python. So next, embedded applications. Embedded applications in the sense they are also Python using in the IoT field. So IoT means hardware. There may be kinds of hardware integration, and you can also integrate the Python with hardware called MicroPython, and embedded Python also used to do the tasks. Whenever you come to program a Raspberry Pi, you are going to use the Python. Whenever you come to use some special task, we can build the machine learning model and integrate it to the embedded systems. So now we have to understand who is using Python. So the Python is used by the many people, like our students, like the startups, MNC companies, and scientists, space researchers, and also using Python most widely. So first, in today's video, I am going to share you how to install Python and how to learn Python. So first of all, I am going to show you how to get the Python from web. So in order to do that, first of all, we need to go to python.org. So to get the Python, we can only get it from the python.org. So whenever you go here, if you go to the downloads, we can get the Python 3.8.5. So you can see this Python 3.8.5. So if you just click on that, it is going to download. It is asked for the download, and because of my machine is Linux machine, that's why it is asking in the tar.x.z. So I don't want to release I want to download for the particular version. So that's why I'm going to all releases. If you get whenever we go to all releases, and it is asking for which type of OS you want to download. So if I go into Windows, we can easily get it for the Windows. So here I'm getting the Windows. So I'm going to get the older versions of the Python, all previously released 3.8.4, 3.8.5. So I simply get for the Windows. So I'm going to use. So it's better to download from here. So Python 3.8.5. So if I click on this, I am going to get the Windows x86. Always choose x86 and 64 exhibit installer, because x86 in the sense 32-bit, x64 in the sense 64-bit. The combination of both in the sense it can also supports the 64-bit. So whenever I used to execute, whenever I click on that, I get the Python 3.8.4 and64.exe. So I click on save file. So you can install, double click on that and click on next to install the Python. So after the installation of Python, you can get the IDLE. So you can get the IDLE. So I'm going to show you how that IDLE looks. So after the installation, if you click on the start button and search for Python, it's going to show some IDLE. So if you click on that IDLE, you're going to get this type of interface. This type of interface. So if you want to really good at programming, if you want to really become a good programmer, never use some editors at the beginning of the programming. So why? Because the IDLEs and editors are autofill some of the tasks, and you can't even learn the syntax perfectly because of the autofill. So you're going to get some assurance. My IDLE use autofill some words so that I don't have to learn. So never use the strong ideal list. Always use the scripts. So this is called interpreter. We call it as interpreter. So whenever, what is interpreter and what is compiler? First of all, we need to understand the differences between compiler versus interpreter. So can anyone let me know what is the difference between the interpreter and compiler? Can anyone let me know what is the difference between the compiler versus interpreter? So because it is the biggest occupies the prominent role to understand the languages. So we have to understand the languages between the interpreter and compiler. So can anyone say that what is the difference between the interpreter and compiler? So if you really likes to do, so I'm going to, if you really don't know, just say no, I don't know. I'm going to explain you what is the interpreter and compiler. So if you really know, please let me know, because other people also can understand what is compiler and interpreter. So okay guys, I'm going to explaining about the compiler versus interpreter. Whenever you come to the traditional languages like C, C++, Java, so they are compiler languages. So compiler languages. So what is mean compiler? So Java is both compiler and interpreter language. That's a different scenario. So what is compiler? First of all, we need to understand the compiler. The compiler, whenever you write the code, the machine only understands the machine based language. So machine based language in the sense binary. So the machine only understands ones and zeros. So but yeah, exactly, Sirisha. It's really good. It's really compiler converts the whole code to all at once. Interpreter does signal and compilation. Good now, sir. So it's really good to get the all the things from you. So what like Sirisha said. So compiler converts the whole code at all once. So the compiler converts complete code at all once. So whenever you, if you suppose I'm writing the programming language in higher level, because you can write the programming language in the form of alphabets like print, like scan. So we can write in this sense, but the machine cannot understand these all things. So whenever we seen that these things are looks weird to the machine, so because the machine cannot understand the higher level language, the machine only understands the lower level language. So whenever we are the compiler, without compiler the machine cannot understand what we write in the program. So the compiler helps to convert the higher level code to the lower level code. So lower level code in the sense machine level code. So the machine, whenever the compiler compiles the code, first it is going to take the all the code at once and compile all at the once, because whenever we compile all the code at once, the compiler throws, if there are any errors, the compiler throws all the errors at the same time. So but when you set the interpreter, so the interpreter doesn't like the compiler, so interpreter also does converts the bigger code like higher level code into the lower level code. But here interpreter, there is a small difference is interpreter interprets the line by line. So interprets the line by line. So the compiler first does the compilation. After the compilation we have to do execution. So but in interpreter, the interpretation and the execution all are done at same. So I'm going to show you one example. How the compiler and interpreter works. So whenever I'm going to write the one small code of C here. So I'm writing the code in the C. So hash include stdio dot h void main. So I'm intentionally placing the errors here. Hello, welcome to Hasa Learning Tech. So I'm intentionally place the error here, and another one I'm going to use Python programming. So if you see in here, I done lots of mistakes because instead of printf I write print. I didn't close the double quotes here, and I didn't place the semicolon here. So whenever I execute, whenever compile this, so if you see in here, whenever I compile the program, all the errors are throws at the same time because there is an error between 4 in the line 4, there is error in line 5, there is error in line 6. All the errors are throws at the same time. So I need to debug the code, and I'm going to rearrange the code with proper syntax. So I'm rearranging the code with proper syntax. So after this, I'm going to, for the sake of your understanding, I'm going to create a directory and sample.c to coding. So if you see in here, I have only one program called sample.c. Whenever we compile the sample.c, we doesn't get any output because the compiler only compiles the program. So whenever we see in here, in the previous one we have only sample.c. Whenever we compile the program, we get the a.out. In the sense, whenever you compile a program, so if the program is syntactically right and there is nothing errors in that, so it is going to create an object. So the compiler programs get the output from the object because based on the instructions an object is created. Whenever we execute the object, it is going to get like this. I am going to get the values like this. So hello, welcome to Hasa Learning Tech Python programming. So I am going to make little bit more easy, and I'm writing the slash in here to understand you perfectly. So whenever we execute this, we get the hello, welcome to Hasa Learning Tech Python programming. So after the compilation an object is created, they are going to get the output from the object, not from the source code. So we have to understand. So that's why the compiler programming language becomes more speed when compared to interpreter languages. Okay. So when it comes to interpreter, it doesn't like this. So Python is an interpreter language. I am writing a single code in Python. So whenever I write I am intentionally writing the errors. I am intentionally writing the errors to understand why it depends on the error. So print of Hasa Learning Tech. So if I execute this one, so at the first line only it raises an error, and from the first line onwards it doesn't go to the next line because I have an error at line 1, so it stops at the line 1. So whenever we change the line 1, so if I again run this, it raises an error at second line because after the line 1 debugging, after the debugging the line 1, after the correction of the error at the line 1, it is going to show the second line error. So I'm going to get it from line to the error and properly write the syntax, and now I am executing the Python file. So if I execute this, I got hello world has a learning tag. Whenever you see in here, whenever we compile the C program, we got an object, but whenever we run the program, Python program, we doesn't get any object. So that's why the compiler programming language are more speed, so becomes more powerful than interpreter programming, but because the instructions are get the by the object, not from the source code. So whenever in the interpreter languages, whenever you run the program, it's going to start from the line 1 onwards. So that's why the compiled program language speed becomes more speed than the programming language compared to interpreter language. So did you understand the difference between the compiler and interpreter? If you people understand the difference between the compiler and the interpreter, if you have any doubts, raise the doubts in the public chat. So I am happy to take your doubts and clarify your doubts in the more detailed way, in enhanced way. So if you have any doubts, please raise the doubt in the public chat. I am happy to see that. So let's go to the Python. So Python is a, we can say it as Python is a very handy language and very easy language. So when you see here, we can call it as interpreter. So this form of interface is called the interpreter. So if you want to understand what is interpreter, the three greater symbols, these three greater symbols defines you. I am a Python interpreter. First of all, what is the most traditional thing we are going to write whenever we are learning the new programming language? We are going to write the most traditional word, one word, where whenever we are learning the new programming language, that is print of hello world. Is this right? So whenever we are learning the new programming language, we always use it to write print of hello world. So here print is a function. So whenever you write a single line interpreter, so the interpreter immediately executes the single line. So if I write print of hello guys, so immediately the interpreter is going to execute that particular line. So how many of you know the hidden variable in Python? There is a trick in Python, so we can understand that hidden variable. How many of you know that hidden variable in Python? Is anyone knows about the hidden variable? So we have a hidden variable in interpreter. So generally we use it to say only the value stores in the variable. By executing that variable only we can get the value. But whenever we type in the interpreter gives the output as what we typed. So how we can get the value without storing in somewhere else? How we are getting the particular value without storing in somewhere else? Can anyone let me know? So I'm going to clear your doubt. So you can call, there is a hidden variable in Python interpreter that is called underscore. Sorry guys, without using the print we have to do that. Hello hi. So I simply say hello hi, but the interpreter executes it. By using the print statement we can get it, but by using the without using the print statement, whenever we type the particular string, it is going to execute the string. So it is stored in the underscore. So whenever you feel that it is not stored in anything, so that is the biggest mistake, because Python interpreter has some hidden variable and it is going to store the value whatever you directly typed in the interpreter. It is going to execute the value from the particular variable. So if I going to say 5, so the 5 is also stored in underscore. Whatever the last executed statement in the interpreter, it is going to execute like in any way. So if I used to say underscore plus underscore plus underscore. Can you please let me know what is the value I'm going to get here? Can you please let me know what is the value I'm going to get here? So if I say underscore plus underscore plus underscore, what is the value I'm going to get here? Can anyone say what is the value I'm going to get here? So I'm going to get exactly. So I'm getting 15 here because my variable is stored in underscore. So whatever the value stored in underscore, whenever I addition that particular underscore, so it is going to get the 15. So now what is the value I'm going to get from here? So can anyone say what is the value I'm going to get here by additioning this? So underscore plus underscore. Now what is the value I'm getting? So no, it's actually going to get the 13 because my last executed value is 15. So in that particular underscore, what is the value executed lastly, that is going to be stored. So what is the last executed value over there? So that is the last executed one we are going to get because here I am getting 30. So here we have 30. So if you see in the underscore, we are going to get 30 because the last executed value is 30. So the underscore contains the last executed value. So no need to say sorry, just learn the things in practical way. So because everyone is not a successful programmer in the beginning, so everyone is going to, based on the practice, they are going to really get the knowledge on the Python. So no need to say sorry, keep on rocking like this because the learning is a continuous process. Is the underscore, is the hidden variable understand to everyone? Did you get the hidden variable interpreter? So in this is the way. Can someone say what is the value I'm going to get now? Can someone say what is the value I'm going to get now? So underscore plus underscore. So underscore plus underscore. So what is the value I'm going to get now? So the last previously executed one is 30. The previously executed one is 30. Super Satya Sai. I'm going to get the 60 here. Really awesome. Really, you guys are really understandable. Very, very lovely. Yeah, I'm going to get 60 here. So because the last executed value is 30, so my underscore, my hidden variable consists of 30. So whenever I addition of these two underscores, I'm going to get the 60 here. So did you get the concept of underscores? So did you get the concept of hidden variable in interpreter? So did you really understand the hidden variable in Python? So really I like to see the responses from you people. So now I'm going to explain the Python consists of two different types of modes. One is interpreter mode and one is script mode. So whatever we are writing in the interpreter, we call it as interpreter mode. So but whenever the interpreter mode is not that much perfect. So because whenever we want to write the longest and biggest programs, like the code consists of 1000 to 2000 lines, the code consists of 30 to 40 lines. The interpreter is not at all suitable for that particular types of code. So that's why we are using the script mode. So let's see how to write a script in Python and how to access the script and how to run the program in the script mode. Okay, are you ready to see the script mode? Are you ready to see the script mode? So really I want to make interactions because that's why people get understands what is the going here. So because this is not like a classroom environment, so if you really want to learn something, if you really want to learn about the particular thing, keep on posting here. So I'm ready to show you what is the thing. Yeah, really good Satyasai. So I'm going to use the script mode now. So I'm just exited the Python interpreter. So let's see the script mode. So how to write the script? First of all, how to write the script? So whenever we focus on the scripts, the Python script is must ends with the extension .py. So please, when if you want to use it in Windows, open the notepad and save the file as the, suppose I am writing hello.py. So this hello is the file name and .py is the extension for the Python. So this hello is the file name and .py is the extension for the Python. So I'm opening the script. So whenever you open the script, it's really simple to write the program. First of all, we write the print statement, whatever we write in the interpreter. So whatever we write in the interpreter, print of hello world. So I write the script and I ended up with the open parenthesis and closed parenthesis, and within the open parenthesis and closed parenthesis I write a string. So whatever within double quotes we can call it as a string. So whatever in the double quotes we can call it as a string. So did you understand? So now I am going to execute the particular program Python 3. So why I am mentioning Python 3 means because my environment consists of lots of Python versions like Python 3.7, Python 3.8, Python 3.9, Python 3.10 and Python 2 also there. So Python 3 means I am saying to the script, execute the script with the Python 3 version. So did you see the Python 3.10? I am going to show you the Python 3.10 at last in my system. So I am executing the script hello.py. Whenever we say that Python 3 space hello.py, it means Python 3 is going to execute the script of hello.py. So if I run this, I am going to get the value of hello world. So if you see here, I get the value of hello world. So this is the way we are going to execute the Python script. But if you are using the Windows machine, you can go to the command prompt. And or else we have a file script in the IDLE. So whenever you install the IDLE, if you click on the Control N, it is going to open a new file. So simply write the program, and if you want to run, there is a interface called F5 to run the program, or if you go there to the top, you can also have the run command over there. If you click on the run, it is going to execute in the interpreter. So tomorrow I am going to show you the Windows environment also, because my mission is Linux mission. Basically, if you really want to learn the programming by using all the compilations, all the path environment setting, my best suggestion is use the Linux mission. So because a programmer much familiar with the Linux mission instead of Windows. So my personal suggestion is go with Linux. Okay, so simply I write the program, and now I want to write another thing. So Hasa Learning Tech Python 3 hello.py. So whenever I execute this one, I got the two strings because I mentioned two strings here. I mentioned 1 minute nano hello.py. I mentioned two strings here. That's why I'm getting the two strings in the interpreter. So that's why I'm getting the two strings in the interpreter. So this is the basic print statement in Python. So shall we let's introduce to the variables. What is a variable? Can anyone let me know what is a variable? Can anyone let me know what is a variable? So do you know the concept of variable, or can you please say what is the variable? So actually I'm getting not. What is a variable? So can anyone let me know what is a variable? So even it is wrong, it's fine. We can learn from scratch. So even if it is wrong, you can learn from scratch. So it acts as a container to store a value. Super. Really, it is the definition. It is acts as a container to store some value. So really, variable acts as some storage to store a value. Let me show you how it stores. In the other programming languages, if you want to, yeah, it stores the value. So in other programming languages, if we want to learn the particular things, if you want to create a variable, first of all we need to declare the variable with data type, like int space a, int space b, int space c, or char space a, or float space a. We need to define the variables like this in other programming language, but in Python there is a it is quite different to that. So because we can directly write the variables without any hesitation. So here I am defining a variable called name, and I am assigning a value. So I am assigning a value called Python programming. So I am assigning a value like this, Python programming, and here name is my variable, and equal to is used to assign the right side value to the left side variable. So equal to is nothing but a assignment operator. So I am writing a number equal to 5, and another I am writing the float value or value equal to 5. So if I write like this, I am going to give the 5.9. So these are the things I write here. So now I am printing these values. I am directly printing the values here. So when I call the print of name, it directly calls the variable name. So when I write the print of number, it directly calls the number. When I write the print of value, it directly calls the variable value. So how to execute the script? Can anyone let me know how to execute the script? How to execute the particular script? So simply you can execute the script by like, so Python 3 hello.py. So hello.py, Python 3 hello.py. So if I run this, if you see in here, my Python programming string is printed, and my value, whatever the value here given assigned to the variable number, so it is also printed, and whatever the value given to the value variable, it is also printed. So now let's understand the concept. So here we didn't mention any data type. So Python is a dynamic typing. So Python is a dynamic language. We can call Python as a dynamic language. Why we are calling Python as a dynamic language? So why we are calling the Python as a dynamic language means, so whenever you run the program, so Python is a basically interpreter. The interpreter is going to be execute the line by line. So as of all of you know that interpreter is going to be execute line by line program. So whenever you write the name here, so in the execution it is going to take this data type. So we need not to mention any data type specifier like int, like float. So in the execution time, the Python is automatically identify that particular value and prints the particular value. So if you want to check the data type of particular variable, we are going to use type of. We are going to use the function type of. So I am going to use the type of function. So print of type of name. So here also I am going to use print of type of number. So here also I am using the print of type of value. Okay, so in this way we are going to we are checking the values data type. Whatever we given the values, we are checking the data type of the particular values. So let's execute the program and identify what are the data types taken by the particular variable. So if you seen here, I have first called the name equal to Python programming. I'm first printed the name, and later I'm checking the type of that particular name. What is the particular data type of that particular variable? So Python programming. So Python programming is a string and it prints the class string. So Python next it prints the 5 and it gives the output as class int. Next it prints the value of 5.9. Next it gives the data type as float. So in this way we can check the particular data type. Okay, suppose if I want to assign same name here, can anyone guess what is the value I'm going to get here? Can anyone guess what is the value I'm going to get here? Is I get string or is I am going to get the number? If I print the printf type of name, what is the value I'm going to get here? Is it string or is it a number? So in some other programming languages, there may be a chance of getting error whenever you define you define the string, and later if you want to give the value. Suppose if you define a variable with int a, so if you later you are going to assign the string to particular that integer data value, integer variable, so maybe you're going to get some error. Okay, so what is the value I'm going to get here? So let's check what is the value I'm getting. So if I run this, oh sorry, actually I need to mention these in like comments. So in order to write the comments, we are going to use the hash. In order to write the comments, we are going to use the hash. Okay, so if I run the program, so I get the 5 here. So I get the 5 here. Why? Because Python is a dynamic programming language, as all of we know that. So whenever the Python is an interpreter based language, so it's going to execute the program in line by line. So whenever you write the name, so whenever you write the string in the first line, and later at the same time you are assigning a value to the same variable, so you are assigning some integer value to the same variable name, so the previous value is override with the latest value. So that's why I'm get the 5 here. I'm getting 5 here. Okay, so this is the concept of variables. So we can define variables like anything, but we have some rules over there for to define a variable, and these rules are applicable for all the programming languages. So if you really want to become a good programmer or good developer, so we have to must follow the conventions. So naming conventions and variable rules also there. So I'm going to explain you those rules. So nano dot py. So the variable names must and should start with the lowercase or uppercase. So, but it mostly starts with alphabet. So, like name equal to Hasa. So, we can start with the variable by using underscore also. Underscore name equal to learning. So, we can start a variable by using underscore also. We can combine the variable with the numbers also, but the numbers should not use at the start of the variable. The numbers only use after the variable cases. So number 2 equal to 5. So we can use, if you want to define two variables, if you want to, not two variables, if I want to define a biggest variable, so like Hasa learning tech or Python programming, I need to use underscore to combine these two words. If I want to use two words as a variable name, I need to use underscore. I need to use underscore to define the things. So Python programming, Hasa learning tech. So we should not start the variables with numbers like 2num. You're going to get the error here. So we should not write the variables whatever the occupied identifiers, predefined identifiers, like if. So if I give the if, it is going to raise the error, like world. So these are valid definition of the variant and creation of the variables. Let's see, print the each one. So print of name. So print of underscore name. So print of number 2. Print of Python programming. Print of 2num. Print of if. So I'm using these variables to print the all the whatever I defined the variables. I'm printing the variables now. Let's see what happens and where the error occurs. I need to use variables.py because I read the variables.py, so that's why I need to use variables.py. Whenever we execute this, I got an error at 2num because 2num is started with number. The variable 2num is started with number, so that's why I need to give only num. So whenever I correct this error, so again I'm going to get the error at if, because if is a Python occupied identifier, so that's why I need not to use if. I'm going to use the some other variable. I'm using vary. So I'm using vary. So now let's print the, wait, I need to save this, and after that I need to change the variable also here. So let's see what is the get output. So Hasa learning 5, Hasa learning tech, hello world. I get the all the variables here. So if you seen here, my variable should not start with number and my variable should not be an identifier. So we can use either anything like capital letters, small letters, and combination of capital and small letters. We can use the variable name in any way. Okay. So for today's, this is the concept. From tomorrow, we are going to see the data types, and we are going to see the how to take the input from the user, and we are going to see what are the complications before getting the input from the user. and after that we are going to see operators, all the things. So if you have any doubts, kindly post it in public chat. If you have any doubts, kindly post it in public chat. Yeah, it should not allow any special characters. So yeah, we should not start with special characters also. Like I'm going to show that one also. So I am defining a variable hasa dollar equal to Python. So I want to print the print of hasa dollar. So if I run the program, so I'm going to get the array hasa underscore dollar, because we should not use the special characters also. So we have to use only this one. In this way, we should not use any special characters. So is there any doubts?